At the very start of the film, we meet a hacker who receives a call from a man named Frank. Frank instructs the hacker to breach the bank's servers, and as soon as he provides the security details, the hacker gets to work. Within just 10 minutes, he has successfully hacked into the bank's servers. Following this, he begins transferring hundreds of millions of dollars into Frank's account. The scene then cuts to a cybersecurity company where employees are attempting to thwart the cyber attack on the same bank. It was orchestrated by Frank himself. All the cybersecurity employees were trying to stop the cyber attack, but they were failing miserably. No one could break the hackers' codes, and with each passing minute, millions of dollars were being deducted from the bank's account. Now we see the chief of the cybersecurity company, who is none other than Frank himself. This means Frank had orchestrated the hack on his own client's bank servers, and he did it through another employee, not through his own company's employees. The entire company was unaware of this. Unaware that his boss is involved in all this, they were working hard to stop the cyber attack. When everyone gives up, they call in Kevin, known as the master of their software, who was on leave due to his daughter's heart surgery but not at the office. As soon as he receives the emergency call, he rushes to the office. Upon arriving, he sees that the situation is dire. They are trying to stop the cyber attack, but no one is able to do anything because the bank's server is completely under control. Initially, Kevin also tries in the same way. He attempts to halt the hacking through intricate coding. Nevertheless, when he does not succeed, he implements a brand new system on their server. He has named this system Firewall. Within mere seconds, it dismantles the hacker's coding, and the money being siphoned from the bank accounts ceases. Ultimately, they succeed in restoring the server. Everyone was exceedingly pleased with Kevin's work except for his superior, as we are aware the entire scheme was orchestrated by his superior. His superior was exceedingly furious with Kevin. He says to Kevin, "Why did you install your new system on that server? What if something else went wrong? Who would be responsible then?" Although Kevin did a good job, he still got scolded. The scene cuts, and we find out that by the time the attack was stopped, $100 million had already been stolen from the bank, and the bank's transaction history had been deleted, so no one knew whose account the money was transferred to. Now it becomes clear that Frankie was supposed to withdraw a small amount of money through this hacking, but he took out more, and he's being scolded for it. The director of the cybersecurity company, the real mastermind, questions Frank. "I only told you to withdraw $500 million. Why take more?" Frank replies openly, "I needed some too." This response and Frank's attitude infuriated his boss, as there's another twist. Someone else had instructed his boss for this task. It was a money laundering mafia, a big gangster named Pong who has orchestrated a kidnapping in China. He asked, "Why exceed the target? Why did you withdraw the money?" Chan was confused. He tells him, "I didn't withdraw any money, I wasn't even aware of it." Hearing this, he tells the gangster to invite Frankie and his family to dinner. He didn't want to do this because he knew that the gangster would do something wrong with them. But to blackmail him, the gangster brings Chan's brother there. His men tie a plastic sheet around his mouth and start beating him in front of Chan. Helpless, Chan has to call Frankie and invite him to dinner. Frankie goes, and while he was on his way, the gangster's men hack his car. They infiltrated the car system and secured all its doors, subsequently propelling it to maximum velocity. Frankie, who was at the wheel during this incident, was bewildered by the erratic behavior of his vehicle. When he attempted to apply the brakes, they were unresponsive, resulting in a catastrophic collision. The identity of those responsible for this incident remains unknown. To the outside world, it appeared to be a typical accident in which Frankie's entire family tragically lost their lives. Their car had caught fire and the entire family was burning. The gangster shows this video to Chain and threatens him that if there is even a slight mistake next time, he will be responsible for the consequences. Chain realizes the secret because he had no idea before how he had started this work out of greed with such a wrong person. Anyway, he was trapped now. Whatever the gangster said, he had to do. Therefore, he goes to the office and promotes Kevin in place of Frankie. Additionally, Frankie is gifted a house and a car from the company. Ajay, we are shown that Kevin was talking to an employee in his own office. The employee was in a difficult situation. His daughter was not getting admission into a school and the school was demanding $5 million which he did not have. Therefore, he considered hacking the school system to insert his daughter's name for admission. However, this was illegal. He began to do it but then stopped midway. While he was engaged in these activities, he suddenly noticed that $5 million had appeared in his account. As he was pondering over this, a substantial amount of money from several other accounts also started coming into his account and his daughter. The school admission also gets done. He found out through a message which stated that someone else had paid the donation fee, and even the teacher who wasn't allowing Kevin's daughter to be admitted had agreed. Kevin was astonished as to who could have helped him so much. The next day, Chan calls him to meet at a secluded place outside the office. Kevin, being a sharp player, understood that Chan was going to discuss something significant. Therefore, he had already set his phone to record. Chan reveals everything to Kevin, admitting that he was the one who orchestrated the cyber attack on the bank. Remember, the money that has come into your account. I am the individual responsible for transferring the funds, and it is due to my actions that your daughter has successfully gained admission. Should you decide to join our ranks, the sum presently in your bank account will commence doubling. Nevertheless, Kevin was a man of integrity. He declines the proposition and also warns that he will report everything concerning Jian to the authorities. Jen had a suspicion that Kevin might have been recording their conversation to collect evidence. He swiftly snatches Kevin's mobile from his pocket and discards it. Consequently, all the evidence Kevin had accumulated against Jen was obliterated. Then Jen inquires of him, "What do you? We know little about you, but we remember who you were. You'd risk jail for a bit of cash. Have you made a mistake?" Kevin replies, "Yes, I did all that, but I'm not like that anymore." Saying this, Kevin leaves from there. While he was on his way, the police stopped him. The police take him to the station and begin an investigation because they had found out that there had been many transactions in his account the previous day. They ask Kevin, "Tell us, why were so many payments sent to your account? Are you behind that cyber attack?" Here, Kevin doesn't lie to the police. He tells the truth, saying, "Yes, money was transferred to my account, but I'm not behind it. I'm being framed." But why would the police believe this? What happens then? Am I truly innocent? At this particular moment, I do not possess the evidence for this, but if you grant me a little more time, I will present you with the proof and also assist you in resolving this case and uncovering who was genuinely behind the cyber attack. The police consent to his proposal, after which Kevin begins his work and starts collecting all the information regarding the previous cyber attack. He accomplishes this from his office as well. During all of this, we observe that Chan has now reached out to the same hacker once more. Wait, he is preparing to initiate a new cyber attack in which the hacker is to infiltrate another bank. They were stealing $2 million from there. Now, because Kevin was also in the office at this time, he found out that Chan intended to attack another bank. He informed the police about this and also tried to prevent the cyber attack himself. At this time, he had also developed new software. By installing it in the bank server, he not only managed to stop the bank from being hacked, but also collected all the information about where the bank server was being hacked from and where the money was being transferred to. Kevin now had evidence against Chan and also proof of his own innocence. He provides the evidence and his case gets resolved. He was on his way to the police station with this proof, but on the way, he is captured by gangsters. They were transporting him somewhere in a van, but Kevin was rather strong. He managed to fight off everyone present, opened the vehicle and swiftly exited, heading directly to the police station. He was on the verge of handing over all the evidence to the police when his wife arrived with some distressing news. Their daughter had been abducted. His wife had received a message indicating that if her husband erased all the evidence against Chan, their daughter would be returned unharmed. With reluctance, Kevin chose not to provide the evidence to the police and instead proceeded to his office too. He gives it to Jane. After that, he tells Kevin to restore the system. Make the bank system the way it was before so that he can complete his mission of withdrawing the illegal money. As per his instructions, he starts working and during this time, he discovers his daughter's location through hacking. Kevin sends the location to his wife, who, upon receiving it, sets out to rescue their daughter. His daughter was kept inside a trunk in an archive storage area. Due to this, her condition had deteriorated significantly. She takes her daughter to the hospital, but now the police arrest her because it was accepted that Frankie had broken the deal with the police. All the evidence he had, he did not give to the police but used it to save his daughter. Because of this, the police arrested his wife to blackmail Frankie. As soon as Frankie got this news, he became very distressed because his wife was also arrested. His daughter was killed and now he didn't have the evidence in his hands. Sri, his wife. He now found himself in the position of needing to gather substantial evidence against both Chan and the gangster once more. To achieve this, he made his way back to his office and proceeded to hack into Chan's mobile phone to collect all the necessary evidence against him. He required a password to gain access to his banking application, which was unknown to him. Consequently, he hacked into the banking application itself, where he uncovered that Chan was not operating from a singular account, but was in fact creating fraudulent accounts over time. This indicated that he was illegally hacking into banks and transferring funds into his various accounts. Chan even possessed numerous passports in reality. He was always meticulously planned. If he ever got into trouble, he could escape anywhere. Now, as he began retrieving all the account information, he discovered that the transaction history had already been deleted by Chennai. At this point, he was losing badly. Therefore, he hacked into his personal message information, through which he learned that he was working for a very big gangster. To gather evidence, Kevin started accessing the gangster's account and also hacked into the CCTV of his car. The gangster was at a golf course at that time, where Chang was planning to kill him. Luck was on his side. He needed to gather evidence against Chan, which he didn't have, but Chan himself provided it all. Chan was being blackmailed by this gangster in BSL, and he had come here to kill him. She arrived here first. She takes out his 2 cards, and all the CCTV footage goes to the police because she did all this while standing behind the gangster's car. And Kevin had already hacked the cameras of the gangster's car to show the footage to the police. Kevin had also sent Chan's live location to the police. Therefore, the foreign police went there to catch Chan. Chan also got wind of this. He immediately got into his car to flee, but the police were persistently pursuing him, and he realized that someone must have hacked his phone, which is why they knew his location. So, he threw his phone out of the car. As soon as he discarded it, Kevin could no longer trace his location, and now he was in a real bind. He couldn't figure out what to do. He remembered seeing some medicine in Jane's cabin, which Kevin also used to order for his daughter. He then hacked into the delivery company's server and, by hacking it, managed to find Chan's address. He managed to find the address. It was a peculiar place. It seemed unlikely that anyone could be safe there. Upon entering the building and opening a room, he found a sick boy lying there, who was none other than Chane's brother, whom the gangster had captured at the start of the film to blackmail him. Finally, Chane was within his grasp. Did I immediately send this location to the police? Chane also realized that the police could arrive at any moment to apprehend him. Therefore, he began to flee, but Kevin tried to stop him. A scuffle ensued between them, during which Chane attempted to shoot Kevin. Unfortunately, the bullet accidentally hit. The bullet strikes him, and just before he has the opportunity to fire at Kevin once more, the police arrive and apprehend Chane. Chane desires to escape, but because Kevin assisted the police, all charges against him are dismissed. Following this, he is able to lead a liberated life. His life becomes very fulfilling, as he is teaching in accordance with his daughter's requirements, and with this, the narrative concludes.